All right, folks, we're going to be doing another video, and we're going to be doing a hybrid video, how to ride a motorcycle. Also, we're going to be going over these atheist arguments and debunking every single one of them. Now, for my atheist viewers, you probably think this motorcycle just popped into existence out of nothing. My Christian viewers, however, know that this motorcycle is a product of intelligent design. So let's get on our Monster Energy backpack, and then we're going to go riding. Look at the beautiful day. I don't know if you can see this. Let's connect the backpack straps here. And we're off. Let's talk about what we're going to be discussing. I have the GoPro on my chest. I have a chest mount, so you're going to be able to see a little better. Like, just pretend my arms are your arms. You'll be able to see that. So let's talk about, we're going to talk about John Lennox and Richard Dawkins. When Dawkins said species are not guided. Let's start this up, by the way. We're going to talk about the Atheist Experience show when they said that a unicorn in a cardboard box proves that atheism is accurate and correct. We're going to talk about Christopher Hitchens. I know he's dead now, but Christopher Hitchens, when he was defeated by Dr. William Lane Craig. I'm going to show you how Craig defeated Christopher Hitchens. And let's get ready here. We're going to be debunking AronRa. He has appeared on the Atheist Experience show before. We're going to be debunking Sam Harris arguments for atheism. And then Matt Dillahunty. We're going to be debunking him when he got defeated by Cliff. Look below this video for the debate where Matt Dillahunty got defeated by a very bold, confident, correct Christian. We're going to be debunking Austin Dacey, atheist Austin Dacey, and then Lawrence Krauss when he lost in debate to Ray Comfort. I'm going to be talking to you about that. And let's kind of put this right here. I want you to notice nothing up my sleeve. We're doing all this by memory. Those are the topics of the day, but we're going to do it all by memory. Here we go. Make sure we got the camera. Give it a few revs. And we're going to be doing freeways today, and then the twisties. And it's a beautiful day because it just finished raining out here in SoCal. So I want to first talk to you about, you guys know that for years I've been challenging the Atheist Experience show to provide some type of proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. They still haven't done it. No atheist on YouTube has been able to do that. I think I am now officially the most hated Christian on YouTube by atheists, because I tell them they're full of crapola. So, my position is this, that everyone knows God exists. My position is that all the atheists know God exists. Scripture backs this up. Scripture says, go to the first page of Romans and the second page of Romans in the back of the book, of the Bible. And Scripture says that indeed they do know God exists, but they suppress the truth and unrighteousness. You know how you get like a basketball and you try to push it underneath the water, like in the swimming pool? What does it do? It pressures back at you. The pressure makes it come back at you, so you have to suppress this truth and unrighteousness, just like you're suppressing the basketball. So every day the atheists, as you could tell by their videos, their hate for God, they have to suppress the truth of God's unrighteousness. Now, I used to be an atheist, so I want to confess that. I used to be an atheist, but due to modern science, due to evidence and for Christianity, and due to the lack of evidence for atheism, I became a Christian. It is the most rational, scientific, truthful thing you can do in the year 2017, 2018, and beyond. Now, do I believe that some people truly don't believe in God? I believe what Scripture says, that God will give them over to a reprobate mind. It's like they go crazy because that's what they want to do. They want to keep denying reality. And I do believe there are some people that just go absolutely nuts in atheism, like that guy that just killed all the people in the church, that atheist. You know, he fights it and he fights it and he fights the truth, and then God just says, hey, you know what? I give up on you, and he gives them over to a reprobate mind. There's a time and a place where this can happen. So, if atheists do know God exists, everyone knows God exists, then why do they do it? The atheists love the praise of men. They love getting up in front of a lot of people, and of course, you know, they're getting only the praise of atheists. You know, stupid is what stupid does. Birds of a feather flock together. Here comes a freeway up here. So the atheist God is their ego. They love the praise of men. They love, you know, bashing God. This is why they do it. There's no reason to do it, because on atheism, hold on, I'm downshifting here. By the way, speaking of motorcycle, we're going to do a hybrid motorcycle. Keep your handlebars straight when you're coming to a stop like that. So a lot of weight was going on these tires, on these motorcycle tires. You only have 2 tires here to balance you up. So if you're coming to a stop and your handlebars are turned, all this weight of the motorcycle, hundreds and hundreds of pounds, is going to go one side or the other. So watch how I keep the handlebars straight. We may lower the camera just a bit. We'll see. Let's kind of put this down here like this a little bit. First gear, slowly let the clutch out right here on the left while giving it throttle. Then I'm going to release the clutch and the throttle, release the throttle and pull the clutch lever in, kick up into gear, and then release the clutch lever again. So, for example, I'm in second, right? So I want to show you. If I want to stop, I'm going to pull the clutch lever in. I have my hand off the throttle on the right. Watch this. Pull the clutch lever in, slightly kick down, and the neutral light's on my dashboard right now. Keep the wheels straight, the handlebar straight. But anyways, back to this. So the way that Christians approach things is way different than the way atheists approach things. Christians open their eyes and they look at everything around them in the world, okay? And then what they do is they say, what is the best explanation of these things? What is the best explanation of DNA, the universe that just came into being? It can't create itself, so an outside source had to create it. Clutch in, kick down, we're in gear, keep the clutch lever in. We're slowly going to let the clutch lever out while giving it throttle on the right. Totally release the clutch lever on the left, release throttle, kick up to second. You know, you're going to be slowly releasing the clutch and slowly putting the clutch back in again. So basically the way you're shifting is release throttle on the right, so you're not giving it throttle, pull the clutch lever in, kick up or down into the gear you want. Watch. I'm braking, clutch lever in, kick down to second, clutch lever in, slight tap down brings me to neutral. So just to kind of show you something, you have first, where's the camera? Make sure that it's, okay, so let's kind of lower this a bit. You got first, neutral, second. So in between second and first is neutral. But back to what we're talking about, and then we're going to debunk Richard Dawkins' argument. So the Christians will look at everything around them. They'll look at science. They'll look at prophecies that came true. They'll look at the historicity of Jesus Christ, the person Jesus Christ and the evidence for him. They'll look at everything and they'll say, what is the best explanation of all these things? DNA, which is empirical proof of design, all these things. And then we make our decision. But atheists don't think that way. Atheists have a presuppositional, stubborn hate against God. So they approach it like, okay, let's look for every little argument, every little nitpicking thing we can say against God and approach it that way. They're not honest. Am I saying that atheists are not honest? They're liars? Of course. They do what they see their daddy doing. Remember when Jesus was confronting the people that denied him? And he said, look, I do the will of my Father, but you do the will of your father, who is Satan. Okay, now we're in second. Notice we have the green arrow. Let's see. We still got it. We're going to stay in second. Now we're getting on the freeway. Now on freeway, speed is life. You don't want to be moping along on the freeway. The mean, unforgiving freeways I ride, they go like 80 average speed, I should say. They go faster than that. All right, first gear, second gear. On the freeway, you'll wind out the gears a little bit more because you want to get that top in there. Third gear. I want to show you something when we're going into fourth. Watch what we're going to do. Release throttle, pull clutch lever and kick up to fourth, roll back onto throttle. What's awesome about the R1, it's a product of intelligent design. And notice, we're only at 6,000 on the tack and we're doing freeway riding, so it's a lot of fun. California, they let you go in the carpool lane. So, let's talk about Richard Dawkins, and we're going to be getting off on the twisties in a moment. Richard Dawkins was debating John Lennox. You can see that debate right below this video that you're watching. And Richard Dawkins said, well, nothing is guided. Nothing is guided, he said. It's all just going along by itself. And then he told Richard Dawkins, he said, if you see a car going and you look inside the car, you see a person, an intelligent agent in the car driving it, and it goes this way and that way and this way and that. And John Lennox said, but Richard, you complete idiot. No, I'm just kidding. He said, Richard, it could be guided. See, this is what's awesome about Christianity when you watch these debates, is you have arguments as a Christian. We have DNA, we have the complexity of the cell. The cell is like literally a whole world. It's like a machine. It's just amazing with different tools within the cell that produce one thing or the other. Richard Dawkins' God is Darwin. I mean, he loves Darwin. But Darwin didn't even have any knowledge of what's going on in the cell. He thought it was a glob of goo. That's literally what they thought the cell was. Now, with modern science, not the old, outdated horse and buggy days of Darwinism, modern science, you and I know more than Darwin did. This is why the majority of the world are creationists. They're looking at everything, and I'm sorry, they just don't believe the universe popped into existence uncaused out of nothing. To do so is not science. It's irrational. They don't believe that when they look at their, go get your dog, Poochie Woochie, or your cat, Felix, and hold them in front of you. The atheist wants you to believe there was a massive explosion, and out of that massive explosion, Poochie Woochie and Felix popped out over billions of years, they'll say. Out of chaos, they say design appeared. Here's your sign if you believe that. So, John Lennox said, but Richard, you complete idiot. No, he said, Richard, it could be guided. And of course, Richard Dawkins admits that, yes, it could be guided. Let's get up here and let's go to the, let's go one more off-ramp. It was interesting, in the debate with John Lennox, Richard Dawkins reverses himself. Before he said there's no way Jesus could have existed, now he admitted, he said, and I quote, I misspoke, Jesus did exist. And this is just dishonest that Richard Dawkins would claim that Jesus Christ didn't exist. We have more evidence around the world saying Jesus existed than we do saying Richard Dawkins existed. So, Dawkins was trying to prove, and here we go with the twisties, by the way. Dawkins was trying to prove that everything was just from luck and chance, and it's not guided. But here's what John Lennox did just beautifully. John Lennox talked about how there must be something built inside these species, something pre-existing in them, maybe within their DNA. By the way, watch this. So you're going to lean like this, and I'm also doing counter steering, a lot of counter steering there. Counter steering, I'm going to show you that, is when you move the handlebars in the opposite way that you want to turn. So if you want to go left, you're going to move the handlebars like you're pointing them, like you're turning right. I know it sounds weird, but... So we're going to show you some counter steering up here. So check out the debate between Richard Dawkins and John Lennox. John Lennox thoroughly makes Richard Dawkins tap out. We're going to go to some beautiful areas. We got to be careful because I'm not making this up. There's wild donkeys over here. So let's talk about the Atheist Experience show. The Atheist Experience show, to my challenge, people started calling up asking the Atheist Experience show, what proof and evidence can you provide that proves atheism is accurate and correct? And I'm going to put this video below. It's on video. You know what their evidence was that atheism was accurate and correct? A unicorn, an invisible unicorn, in a cardboard box. So when you ask an atheist and ask this question, they hate it. They will get mad at you. They will bash you. They will gnash their teeth in anger against you. When you ask them, what proof and evidence do you have that proves atheism is accurate and correct? They don't have any. It's basically a presuppositional faith-based worldview. Nothing wrong with faith if you have faith in the evidence like Christians do. We have evidence of the resurrection. We have evidence of the Holy Spirit within our lives. We have evidence of prophecy coming true. We have evidence that the Bible, even though it's not a science book, the Bible says that God sits above the circle of the earth. By atheist scientists who are saying the earth was flat, the Bible refers to it as a circle sitting above the circle of the earth. Jesus Christ himself refers to the earth being round when he talks about the day and night cycles of the earth. He says someone will be sleeping at night and someone will be working in the day. How can that happen unless you had knowledge of these day and night cycles where someone's I'm just looking at this vehicle here. What's the deal with this parked vehicle? Where someone's sleeping in the night and working in the day. Now here's counter steering, by the way, and then we're going to get to... So, but by the way, the Atheist Experience show totally failed. A unicorn in a box does not prove atheism is actually correct. Here's counter steering. We're going to be going... Unfortunately, this car's moping along in front of me, but we'll get on it. There's a place where we can go around it. See how it says there's a corner to the right? I'm going to pull towards me on the left handlebar, holding a slight pressure. and this will lean the bike to the right. Why would this guy brake? Really? Don't be scared. So I'm not really having to do a lot of counter steering because my scared brother or sister here, look at, he's braking the whole way. But let's just say we were going at a good clip. See this corner coming up here right now to the right? I'm going to pull back on the left. Let me just do it dramatically. Watch, like this. See how it leans it? I'm going to do the same thing here. I go outside, inside, pull back on the right, I hold pressure, and you see how it does that. Now, when you're coasting, you're going downhill, I'll go all the way up to 6 to get extreme good gas mileage. This motorcycle doesn't get as good gas mileage as you think. So, the Atheist Experience Show, check out their video below this video, where a caller calls up and says, what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct? And the Atheist Experience Show says, well, suppose you said you have a unicorn in a box. No one's saying they have a unicorn in the box. Atheists, and especially you, the Atheist Experience Show, you guys are the king and queen of straw man arguments. Seriously, we're not talking about a unicorn in a cardboard box. We're talking about God. God is spiritual. Remember Jesus said God is spirit and he must be worshipped as such. So check out the total fail of the Atheist Experience Show. I invite all atheists and Christians alike and Muslims to contact the Atheist Experience Show and ask this question. I bet they hang up on you. Ask them, what proof and evidence can they provide besides the gay unicorn in a box analogy? That's the gayest analogy I've ever heard. Ask them, what proof and evidence can you provide that proves atheism is accurate and correct? Now watch, we're downshifting while braking. Downshifting while braking. You want to be right at second or first by the time you stop. So now we stopped here. That guy's going to be ruining my I wanted to pick up some speed during this video, so I may pull over as I talk to you and let some traffic go by so I can show you something as I pick up speed, but I have to go to an area where I can safely pick up speed, like right here. Let's pull over here. This is wonderful. Uh-oh. Okay, thought a dog was coming to get me. I heard roar. So, hopefully no dogs come out here, so I'm going to have to put it gear. Alright, so we're going to let this traffic go by here, and then I'm going to pick up some speed. Hitchens and Craig, this is brilliant. Alright, good. We're next. Let's let these guys go. We'll wait till get a lot of distance, because I catch up real fast like with those. Hitchens and Craig, one of the problems with atheists, okay, we're going to go, here comes a car, so, is they will not commit to claiming that God does not exist. Dr. William Lane Craig totally defeated Christopher Hitchens. Even on Atheist blog, they were saying that Hitchens got spanked like an unruly stepchild by Dr. William Lane Craig. And I'm going to interrupt this video when I come up to this corner. I want to show you something. When Craig started debating with Hitchens, he knew that Hitchens was going to be a slippery little piggy. So he asked Hitchens this question. Now hold on. Before we do that, here's the corner up here. We're going to pull back on the right. Okay, here we go. Wait, is this it? Kind of, sorta. Watch. Let's go through this. This isn't the one. It's coming up. But here's what he asked Hitchens, and it was brilliant. And I was worrying about this. When I heard about that Craig was going to debate Hitchens, I was like, oh, great, because Hitchens is a wimp. He won't claim God exists or God doesn't exist. He'll be very vague, very similar to the Atheist Experience Show, how they will not claim God doesn't exist, because then they have to give an argument for God's existence. So Craig said, are you an evidentialist? Are you an agnostic? Are you an atheist that just withholds belief? Are you claiming God doesn't exist? And I'm going to put that video below this video, and you'll notice that Hitchens is terrified of the question. Why? Because Craig has him. If he says, I am claiming God doesn't exist, and he's making a positive claim, therefore he must give arguments for that claim. Here it is right here, watch. So I'm going to stand on the outside, pull back sharply to the right here. Sharply, leaning it into the corner. You got to learn that counter steering or you're going to go off into the ditch. You know, one time I was riding and there was a guy with his pants down. You know, that's kind of like sagging, you know, the style over here in California. I hate that. So I pulled up next to him. I said, dude, your pants are down. Pull your pants. And I got it on video, right? Well, they put it on the Motomadness website. So I'm going to put that video below here, too. You can see me telling the guy to pull up his pants. Nobody wants to see his skid mark. Gross. You know, when that shooting happened in the church, I knew it was an atheist. I called it. I go, it's going to be an atheist. Okay, so back to this. So Craig defeats Christopher Hitchens saying, are you claiming, he asked Hitchens, are you claiming God doesn't exist? I think this guy's going to let me go around him. Let's see. Let's see. Wow, look at this old vehicle. Are you claiming... Thanks, brother! Are you claiming... Wait, better slow down here. This is a sharp corner right here. So pulling back sharply on the left. It's not like a too bad of a corner, but it's like a piece of junk road. Pull back very sharply on the right. See how we do that? And that does counter steering. So he was brilliant to ask Hitchens, are you claiming God doesn't exist or whatever? And then, of course, Hitchens says it's weird, and I kind of feel sorry for Hitchens because he was backed into a corner. He said, well, I'm wondering if I'm boring anybody. And he starts talking, because you know how they give you like a couple of minutes to answer it. He's trying to run out the clock so he can evade, because you atheists, you guys are the king and queen of evasive tactics. He's trying to evade the clock. I'm going to put a couple of calls I made to atheist radio shows right below this video, and you'll hear them trying to evade the question, what proof and evidence can you provide as we utterly destroy atheism? We pray for our atheist friends. Hold on, there's a fast Mustang behind me. I didn't know that. He wants to get up and go, so let's give him... We pray for our atheist friends. Literally, it helps us if we can get them saved so they don't go into a church murdering a bunch of people again. Every time I talk to an atheist, I tell them, I sure hope you don't own any rifles since you're an atheist. I know how you atheists love to murder. You get atheists in power, that's what you get. You got Kim Jong-il, you got Kim Jong-un, you have Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao, the Khmer Rouge, who have murdered hundreds of millions of women and children in cold blood, just like that atheist murderer did. But you know what's really bad about atheism, by the way, downshifting? They won't tell you it's wrong. They'll say, yeah, it's subjectively wrong. And you'll say, well, what the hell does that mean? I got to slow up here because this is a very bad railroad track. What the heck does that mean? Subjective. They'll say, well, yeah, it's wrong for me, but for him it wasn't wrong to go in there and murder all those people. This is the sick disease of atheism. How sick? How could you, seriously, if you're an atheist here, I want to ask you an honest question. How could you be in such an evil position, an evil worldview like atheism? If you're an atheist, you claim that rape is not objectively wrong. Child abuse is not objectively wrong. This is what you're claiming. You're claiming that when that guy went in there and shot babies in the church,
atheist, this is what you're claiming, that it wasn't objectively wrong. Like, for him, it was okay. Are you out of your mind, you guys? Shame on you. Shame on you, Matt Dillahunty. Shame on you, Thunderfoot. Shame on you, Richard Dawkins. Shame on you, the amazingly hellbound atheist. Shame on you, atheist. The shame. Maybe this is why now, in the year 2017, recent polls show that Christians are more tolerant than atheists. Recent polls in 2017, I'm going to put them all down here, say that atheists are the least trusted people. Oh, of course! Especially if they own a firearm. Hey, you atheists watching this video, you don't own a firearm, do you? That would make us, as rational, civilized people, very concerned if you own a firearm. Okay, counter-steering them back to debunking. You're going to pull back on the right here, watch this, and you're going to lean it into the corner like that. This is how you roll. Now we're going to go back at a more advanced pace. However, we are now going to see what's on the agenda here. We're in neutral, come to a stop. Here's a church over here. This looks like a great area to turn around. Well, wait a minute. Let's go over here. Because then I can just turn around right here. We're going to go right here, but first we have this group of bikers. I have the green arrow, but they're kind of... they have no mirrors on them. That's alright, guys. No rush. It's cool. Alright, thanks, guys. Pardon me. That was nice of him. Okay, so we're going to go over here. And where can we go? Let's go right here. Is this... can I park here? It's kind of... maybe I shouldn't. It's like... nice road, but there's nowhere to really... oh, I'll do a U-turn right here. You know what? This motorcycle does not do good U-turns. It doesn't really... you have to really take it wide. Alright, so if you're going to debate an atheist, do what Craig did and ask them, now look, are you a verificationist? Are you claiming God doesn't exist? Are you claiming he could exist? You're an agnostic? What are you? Then you could defeat them in debate. I'm going to put... excuse my nose with this wind. I'm going to put a bunch of my debates I've had with sweet, cuddly, huggable, lovable atheists right below this video. Make sure you check it out. Let's see here. Okay. So the next argument, let's talk about a horrible one that AronRa made, and we're going to debunk his. AronRa was on a, I guess it was like a, I don't know what it was, like a blog show. I'm going to put this link below this video. And he was talking about extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Okay? Let's go back. And the guy that he was with was talking to him, and he said they both agreed that if you don't have pictures, follow along here, they said if you don't have pictures of it happening, it didn't happen. Now, I'm out riding the motorcycle, beautiful California. Let's say I didn't have a video that I was doing this. Let's say, because many times I don't put the GoPro on. Let's say I was out riding and I had no pictures at all that I did that. According to AronRa and his other little friend that he was sitting with, they're like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. the Beavis and Butthead of atheism. According to them, even though I actually rode the motorcycle, it's not true because I didn't have pictures of it. This is the idiocy of atheism. They make it so, the evidence has to be so strong that not just strong enough, they want it stronger than strong enough. And if you don't have, just this massive amount of evidence, they can say, well, what you're saying isn't true. So let's say you're out riding a motorcycle, and like, for example, I have a cell phone. I have 2 cell phones in this tank bag here. I know I do because I put them there myself. I don't have any evidence, any pictures to show AronRa that I have a cell phone. Let's see. I want to see if I can get this motorcycle guy. If I can go ride with him here. But it's a nice bike. But I know they're there. Well, according to AronRa, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. He was saying, like, if you said that you had like a iguana or something in your garage, I wouldn't believe it unless you gave me pictures. There's people with iguanas in their garage. I don't get that. I know it's not like common where everyone has it, but I don't. Or maybe it was an iguana, whatever, some type of lizard. So this incorrect, I'm going to pass this guy come hell or high water. So we can, because I know this Harley guy is going to start getting on it as we go through these turns. I'll get you some good footage. We'll see how he does the counter steer. But just because you don't have a picture of something doesn't mean that necessarily doesn't exist. In the debate with Christopher Hitchens, oh, she let me in. Thank you so much. You're nice. Craig asked Christopher Hitchens, do you believe absence of evidence is evidence of absence? In other words, I have no evidence that this guy in front of me has a cell phone on him. I have absolutely no evidence, right? But he could indeed have the cell phone. I should not infer, because I have no evidence of it, that he does not have a cell phone. That'd be stupid. I'd be going beyond rational thinking. The rational thing is not A, he has a cell phone, or B, he doesn't have a cell phone. The answer is C, he may have a cell phone. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. And this is where this dude's going to get on it. What? Here we go. So, look, he's like moving over for me. So AronRa is Aaron wrong. Pictures or it didn't happen, they say. I'm going to put that video right below here and you'll see it. This guy is like cooking. So let's go to the next one. I can't really look down right now because not safe. We got a stop sign coming up, so. Beautiful day. Just awesome. You never get tired of riding a motorcycle, I'm telling you guys. It's just awesome. 4 wheels moves the body, 2 moves the soul. So fun. You know, you do get closer to God out here. I talk to people and they're like, I get close to God when I go out into nature, and that, I agree, I do too. I get closer to God with RPMs and nature. This bike just handles so well, I love it. Alright, so we have a stop sign here coming up. So let's see what we're on. Okay, so AronRa We debunked AronRa's, if you don't have a picture of something, it didn't happen. It's so stupid. What if cameras didn't exist? Cameras, how you doing, brother? Cameras didn't exist at the time of Jesus Christ. Oh, so Jesus Christ never lived? It's so stupid. Atheism is so stupid. It's embarrassing because they don't use their rational thinking skills. Like Matt Dillahunty and his unicorn in a cardboard box. How does a unicorn in a cardboard box prove that atheism is accurate and correct? Okay, Sam Harris versus Dr. William Lane Craig. Sam Harris wrote a book called The Moral Landscape, which got horrible reviews from the educated class. What Sam Harris does dishonestly is he tries to equate morality with whatever causes the less pain. What an idiot! In other words, there's a couple of options, but this one causes the less pain, therefore that one's the most moral. This is a very stupid standard. Why not whatever causes the most good? Whatever does the most good. You hear about the lady in church when that evil, murderous atheist with the rifle. I sure hope you atheists watching this video don't have firearms. I'm just saying. I sure hope so. That it's not true that you have firearms. I hope that you don't, is what I hope. But did you see the lady lay down her life for her children? She blocked her children from the evil atheist rampage, and she gave her life for her children. This doesn't make sense because she was more fit. This doesn't make sense if you believe in Darwinian theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. She was more fit than her children, yet she gave her life for her children. Go ahead, brother. So Sam Harris, Moral Landscape, and we're going to get some good speeds going up to this mountain here. Sam Harris, Moral Landscape is a fraud. He equates good and bad, not good and evil. For example, if I'm going around this corner and I crash, that's bad, right? But it's not evil that I crashed. Now, if someone ran me off the road, that's evil that they did that. Hopefully you atheists aren't following me in the vehicle. I hope you atheists aren't having road rage. So, gotta catch up to this dude. So, Sam Harris equates evil with a good move or a bad move. Like, let's say you're playing chess and you make a bad move. And now the other player has a checkmate on you. Okay? Here we go. Hold on. Catching up to the dude. He equates that with a bad move. Yeah, but that's not evil. That's not evil that you made that move. So it's a fraud. Sam Harris' book, The Moral Landscape, has nothing to do with morality. It's a fraud. He talks about good moves or bad moves. Okay, we're going to catch up to this motorcycle dude now. We're going to get on it. This is a beautiful mountain range here. One of my favorite debates is Cliff when he defeated Matt Dillahunty. Cliff's a Christian. And Cliff asked my question, what proof and evidence do you have that proves that atheism is accurate and correct? He asked this to Matt Dillahunty in the debate. It was awesome. Hey, this guy let me over. He asked him, oh, he is. I don't know if I want to do this around a corner, dude. He's like, go ahead, here's this 1 foot of space for you. So, Cliff says, Matt, obviously you say evidence is important to you. What evidence have you seen that proves that atheism is true? Why didn't Matt say, God does not exist. He wouldn't say it. Why? Because then he has to give arguments, and Matt's a wimp. He has to give arguments for his atheism. So this was really pathetic. So Cliff asked Matt, let me downshift here because they're going slow here. Cliff asked Matt, obviously you're saying evidence is important to you. What evidence have you seen that has shown that atheism is accurate and correct? What evidence have you seen that has shown atheism is true? This was brilliant. We're way up high on the mountain. Look at this. Beautiful. I'm on top of the world looking down on creation. Metaphorically speaking. So, Matt, you'll see it. I'm going to put this video right below here. He starts to squirm in his chair. Literally squirm. You'll see his rear end get up off the chair like he's got hemorrhoids or something. And Matt then takes something from Christopher Hitchens' stall tactics playbook, and he's like, well, what was the question again? And Cliff has to reiterate the question. Listen closely, Matt. And Cliff slapped Matt's bald little head like that Benny Hill. No, he said, listen closely, Matt. What evidence do you have that shows that atheism is true? There was zero. Matt was not able to do it. Matt Dillahunty is not in atheism, he's in faiththeism. It's faith, blind faith. So you gotta see that. I am very, wow, look at these horses here. I'm very pleased. We're gonna go down that road, not to scare the horses, but get you some good footage. I'm very pleased that Cliff used my question, very humbly speaking as I bow my head to the ground. I'm sure it was just a coincidence. He used my question, what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct? It was awesome. So we're going to turn this steel horse around. Uh-oh. Let's go here first because this guy's coming. That was one of the best debates I've seen because I've always wanted someone to use that in debate, because every time I've used it, I've won the debate. Every time I've called radio shows and I've asked them and I've said, what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct? They've never been able to answer it. And it really shows that atheists are hypocrites. They say evidence is important, but they have no evidence for their worldview. Okay. Austin Dacey and then Lawrence Krauss. Austin Dacey takes a page out of the Atheist Experience show's gay thing about the unicorn in a cardboard box. And Austin Dacey says, well, I'm going to go slow by the horses so you can kind of see, but we have some caballeros here. Austin Dacey says, look, it's like this. If you're making a cake, you'd expect to see eggshells. Let me go slow over here. Amigos! Awesome! That's awesome. Caballero! I should have did that. I'll do that on the way back. Well, I don't want to scare the horses. Anyways, Austin Dacey, I'm going to put that video below here too. He says, well, I'm going to use the cake, like a cake that you eat. This is what he used. He said, imagine you're making a cake. You would expect to see eggshells and frosting, but we don't see any evidence of God. This is what's so ridiculous. The problem is Craig defeated Austin Dacey because Craig gives all these arguments for the existence of God, and then Austin Dacey uses his gay cake analogy. This is like the worst road. Is that a concrete asphalt road here. Okay, I'm going to go back one more time just to turn this around. See what I mean about the U-turn? So, Austin Dacey's whole argument was based on, you guessed it, the straw man. You atheists are the king and queen of straw man arguments. And I hope none of you guys have firearms. I really don't. I mean, I really do hope you don't have firearms. Okay, so we're going to get back on the freeway. Yes, let's do that. Okay, because we're almost done. So Austin Dacey's cake analogy, it's so ridiculous. He says, you know, if it's my birthday and you would think you'd make me a cake, and then let's say there's no frosting or anything like that. I'm going to go over here out of respect to the horses here. Okay, the last one on our list. Thanks for riding with me, guys. We're going to finish up with some motorcycle training. Lawrence Krauss versus Ray Comfort. Ray Comfort destroys Lawrence Krauss. It was epic. It was awesome. Lawrence Krauss is going around with his silly argument. I gotta say something, and please forgive me. Lawrence Krauss is so full of crapola. I gotta say it. The truth has to be known. Lawrence Krauss is going around saying that nothing created the universe. And when you try to pin him down on, well, how did nothing do this? He turns into like a dishonest used car salesman. I don't want to offend any used car salesman by comparing them to Lawrence Krauss. That's why I said dishonest used car salesman. There's a lot of good used car salesmen out there. And believe me, they don't want to be told they're like Lawrence Krauss, who's a dishonest, he's a mad scientist. Let's just say it. So Lawrence Krauss says that nothing created the universe. So Ray Comfort says, now Lawrence, I notice you're looking at the magazine there. There was a magazine on the coffee table. Oh, by the way, when you go to Signal, you move. You know what? This thing is not going to move for me. I just realized that because I don't have enough weight on the street here. When you go to Signal, you kind of flip this to the left, and then when you're done signaling, you just kind of push it in. We'll kind of sit here until it goes because I got stuff to say anyway. So Ray Comfort says, do you believe that this book created itself? Okay. And after I'm done talking, if it still hasn't changed, we're going to go around. And to my shock, that's right, I said it, my shock, here comes the car, good. Lawrence Krauss says yes, he believes the book created itself. This is so stupid. This is a grown man, an adult, saying that he believed that the book created itself. It's just so stupid. But let me tell you the Achilles heel of atheism. Here's the Achilles heel of atheism. Fact. Atheists claim God does not exist, right? Unless they're like Matt Dillahunty and they're scared to do it. But fact. Atheists claim God does not exist. Fact. Science has shown that the universe is winding down like a clock. It is going to die. And everyone inside of it will die. Unless, of course, what Christians claim, God steps in before this happens and he creates a new heaven and a new earth. But let's just take atheists at their word and say there is no God and the universe is going to die and everyone in it dies. Atheists, why the hell are you wasting your time doing atheist videos? Any good an atheist did, or any evil an atheist did, maybe this is why that atheist murderer killed everyone, he was consistent. The atheist murderer was consistent with his worldview, because any evil someone does or good someone does, if God does not exist, doesn't matter, because the universe is going to die anyways, and everyone within it will indeed die. Is this not a fact? So what's the point of preaching atheism? Do you know that the atheist murderer preached? They said, his friend said, we got so tired of hearing him preach his atheism. Here we go. You get on the freeway, you want to give it good throttle. You know this R1 God has blessed me with goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Tucking down. Just a blast. So, atheists, what's the point? I don't get it. If the universe is going to die, you have to admit that, because that's science, and we know you believe everything science says. So, if the universe is going to die, and everyone in it's going to die, why are you wasting your time doing YouTube videos? Why are you wasting your time? I don't get it. Now, if you really believe God exists and you want to turn people away from God, like how Jesus said, you do the will of your father, and your father is Satan, then it makes sense why you're doing these videos. That's the only reason why you would do the videos, because on your worldview, everything dies in the end, so nothing really matters. Any good you do, any change you do to society on your worldview, my sweet cuddly atheist friends, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to be alive to remember it. Nothing will survive in the great heat death of the universe. So why then do atheists preach atheism? I'm going to tell you why. They do the will of their daddy. Atheist, Jesus was right. We know who your daddy is. And dear Lord, I pray you atheists don't own a rifle. Please tell me you don't own any firearms. We don't want you walking near any churches with your firearms. We know how you get a little shooty. Seriously, guns and atheists do not mix. Look at the list of atheist mass murderers, and serial killers below this link, and we just added another one to the list. Atheism, the cult of death.